Now, if you see here I have mentioned that source. What is mean by source? Now, the data can be generated by many forms that I can call it as a source. It means here from the source, the data can be generated, right? So from where we are going to generate the data? The data can be generated from the applications. It means different type of apps or from the different web applications where the data can be generated, and the data can be generated from the files. For example, if you take production industry, or for example if you take a manufacturing industry, there they are going to use all the excel files, csv files and all, right? So from the files also the data can be generated, and it is also one of the source, right? And the next one, you have the databases. From the different databases also the data can be generated, so it is also one of the source. And if you take the iot devices, the iot devices also is going to generate the data from the sensors. It is also one of the source. Not only these source which I have mentioned, there are many sources which is available at the outside, which the data will be generated. So if you observe here, the application which the data was generated is from different location. The files which is containing the data in the form of csv or excel, it is from the different location. The databases is from the different location. The IoT devices from the different location. Here, the data source which I have shown here, it is extracting. It means it is generating the data from different locations, right? Whatever the data which is generated by the source from the different location, all the source data, we need to store it in the one single location. That single location we are going to call it as a data lake. We need to store all the data which you have extracted from the different sources from the different locations, that you must store in the single platform. In single one location you have to store, and that single location we are going to call it as a data lake. It is like a centralized repository. It means where you are going to store all the source data, all the entire your enterprise's data in a large amount. Okay, after storing in the single location, what is the next step? Is the next step is data processing. What is the next step? The next step is a data processing. What is happening in this data processing is, here the data will be properly cleaned. It means handling the missing values, removing all the duplicates, and if there is any data issues are there, resolving all the data issues, and making it a properly cleaned structure. Here in the source, what happening is, in the source you are going to get the data in different types, like a semi-structured, unstructured data you are going to get. So in this data processing, what we are doing is, after pre-processing, after completing of all the pre-processing, once the data was properly cleaned, then we are going to store the data in a well-structured format. Well-structured format. It means where we are going to store, we are going to store in the data warehouse in well-structured format. It means most of the situations, it means most of the times the data will be available in the form of tabular format only in the data warehouse. Well structured data. Okay, by taking this structured data, the business intelligence can going to generate any reports. The machine learning developers can utilize the data, and the data scientists also can utilize the data for the analysis. And the different groups are there which they can utilize the well structured data from the data warehouse. That we are going to call this part as a destination. The destination team can utilize the data warehouse resource effectively. Okay. Now, here the important thing what you have to remember is, whatever the data warehouse is there, it is going to come with the built-in query engine. The data warehouse is going to come with a built-in query engine, which is a capable of running of SQL queries, which it is going to run the SQL queries. For what purpose it is going to help is, it is going to help for you is for the analysis purpose. Okay, so those analysis reports will be useful for any BI or any ML or any DS. For this destination team which is there, for them it is useful. Okay, so this is the basic information which we needed before entering into the GCP. Okay, now we will see different types of data. Now we have seen where the data was getting and where the data was generating. We have seen. Now we are going to see how many types of the data will be available. Here, if you observe, the data can be here. If you observe, the data can be divided into multiple ways. It can be unstructured form, it will be semi-structured form, and it can be a structured data. We have different ways are there in the data. Now, if it comes to the unstructured data, what type of data it is? It is an unstructured data. It means in single line, what I can say is there will be a no structure to the data. It means this type of data does not have any specific format like rows and columns. So here the data doesn't contain any rows and columns. There will be no specific format here. Okay. For example, if you take videos or if you take images or if you take any social media post or if you take any text document, it does not contain any rows and columns, right? It is not a proper structured data. So to work with this unstructured data, you have one tool called that tool we are going to call it as a GCS, Google Cloud Storage, where we can store these unstructured type of files here in GCS, which is a Google Cloud Storage. Okay, next we have semi-structured data. What is meant by semi-structured data? The data has some structure, only some structure the data is going to contain, but it is not fully organized into rows and columns. Fully there will be a no rows and columns. Only some part of the data will be structured, it means organized. For example, if you take key value pairs, it is one of the way of organizing the data. Key value pair, name, John, like that. It is one of the good way of organizing, but it is not in the form of rows and columns. It is a semi-structured data, right? So in this semi-structured data, here you have to observe OLTP and OLAP. That we will discuss it in the structured form, that we will discuss it the later what is OLTP and OLAP, but up to now we ignore, we will learn in the structured data. Here we will learn that entire detailed concept at the end of the topic. Now just we will see what is semi-structured data. Here the semi-structured data is nothing but it is going to contain only some structure, it is going to contain, not fully. Okay, the next one is here. To work with the OLTP and OLAP, we have the tool called Big Table Tool. By using Big Table Tool, we can work with that both OLTP and OLAP. I'll tell you what is that, okay? So Big Table Tool can be used to work with OLTP along with the OLAP. Okay. Now, if you come to the structured data, what is mean by structured data? The structured data is nothing but it is a specific format which is in the form of rows and columns. Okay. Now, if you see what is the meaning of OLTP and what is the meaning of OLAP. Now, first we will go with the what is the meaning of OLTP. The OLTP is designed for what purpose it is designed? It is used to design to handle the real-time transactions quickly. For the real-time transactions quickly. So it means it is used for storing, inserting, updating, and deleting the data instantly when the transaction occurs. Understand? For example, if you take a customer buys a mobile phone on the Amazon. Let us take a person buy a mobile on the Amazon. Now, what this OLTP do is, what the OLTP is do is, this OLTP system immediately it is going to record the transactions and update the stocks. For example, if any person, for example, as I told, one person has buys the mobile. After buying the mobile, what has to do in the stocks? It has to update, right? It has to reduce the stock number 34 count to the 33. One mobile was sold, so it has to automatically, it has to immediately has to update the result and then do the further process like payment and all. So the data is stored instantly in the OLTP database. In this database, immediately the data will be updated. Quickly, very quickly, the data will be updated in the milliseconds. What is the meaning of OLTP is it is like a transactional database. It is a transactional database that you have to remember. And the next one, what you are having here is the OLAP. What is the use of this OLAP? This OLAP is nothing but it is designed for analysis of large amount of historical data, which is used for the generating the reports. It means it does not handle any real-time transaction. This OLTP is going to handle the real-time transactions, but this OLAP doesn't handle the real-time transaction. For what purpose this OLTP is used is for the business intelligence, and along with the for any decision making this OLAP will be used. For example, for which purpose it is going to use is, let us take here in the OLTP, every single record will be updated. Every single record will be updated in the OLTP database. This is also one of the database system, and this is also one of the database system. Now in this OLTP database system, what is happening is every single record will be stored in this OLTP. When any person purchased anything from the Amazon, all the data will be stored in this OLTP. This OLAP, what it is going to contain is, it is going to contain the summarized data. That's it. It won't contain every single record like a OLTP. It is going to contain only summarized data. For example, if any business team came and if the business team asked what are the past sales in 1 month, what this OLAP do is it is going to give that 1 month what the sales was happened. Okay, if you ask that OLTP, it is going to everyday what was happening. But what this OLAP, the name itself, it is having that analytical database. What that analytical database is going to do, it is going to contain a summarized version of the data. Now from the summarized version of the data, simply we can generate the data. So the business intelligence or for the decision making, we are going to use this OLAP database data. Okay, here to work with the OLTP, we are going to use the tool called Cloud SQL for the purpose of OLTP. Okay, when you come to the OLAP, when you want to work with the OLAP database, then you have to use your BigQuery tool. Okay, these are the basic types which is available in the data. Okay, next we are going to see what is meant by data pipeline.